Hello and welcome back to your Wednesday special.
Ooh.
Because it's actually very special to spend time with us.
Yeah, guys, don't get it twisted.
No, I meant that in a way of time is precious.
And our time's precious.
And well, it is.
Do you know what? You're actually really lucky that you even get in a Wednesday episode.
I meant it in a way that I'm very grateful to be here with you. I'm very grateful to be here with you guys. And do you know what? I appreciate time a lot more at the moment, like quality time with people. I really appreciate that.
I like that.
So I didn't mean it as in like you are lucky to be graced by a presence, because that would be very big-headed. I did not mean it like that.
Honestly, I think it's fine.
Thank you.
I feel like at this point we know what you're like and it's not that.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit sarcastic, a little bit
crazy.
A little bit crazy.
Can't take her anywhere.
No, lock me up.
Lock me away, throw away the key.
But yeah, I'm very happy to be with you. Can't speak. Very happy to be with you guys on this Wednesday. What a fine Wednesday.
What a fine Wednesday.
What are you guys up to today? What are you doing whilst you're listening to us?
See, if I'm listening to a podcast, I'm cleaning my house. Like, I find ADHD hack, maybe not ADHD hack, but I find it so helpful to listen to a podcast while I'm doing chores. Like, it actually makes me want to find more chores to do if I'm enjoying the podcast, because I can't focus on a podcast. Like, I couldn't sit here, stare at the wall and listen to a podcast. I have to be doing something else. Otherwise, I just can't focus. I can't do it.
Yeah, I need to be doing something with my hands. I normally listen when I'm driving if I listen to a podcast. Although I haven't been listening to that many recently. I need to get back on my podcast game.
I just always listen to the same one.
You're going to tell us?
Armchair Expert.
Oh, yeah, you told me about this.
Yeah.
I need to listen to it.
I just find them entertaining.
Yeah.
I do think sometimes they say slightly wacky things.
Yeah.
But then I do also think they're quite good at taking accountability for that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's important.
I'm not really that up to date on if there's any like, I'm always scared to recommend things in case people have done something controversial.
I feel that.
I just feel like so many celebrities, especially white men, have so many cancelable things that they've done in their past, and I'll be like listening to their music and then someone will be like, do you not know what they did?
Did you see people at the Chris Brown concert? There was someone that went around and did an interview of saying like, did you know what he did, and did you know he's been arrested for this? And everyone was like, yeah, I know.
That was like huge news. You can't act like you didn't know. And yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you've bought tickets to a Chris Brown concert, are you okay?
No judgment. Wait, I was going to say
no judgment. I'm sorry, but I am judging you.
Yeah, I just don't like being mean to people, but also I think that's deserved in this situation.
If you bought them and you genuinely didn't know.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
The thing is about separating the art from the artist is that you are streaming or buying tickets and you are literally funding that artist's life. And they're going to be really rich and have more power because they have more money because of you. Yeah. So you are literally adding to the problem. He is like a repeatedly he's gross, and he's just repeatedly abused women, and I'm sorry, but if you've bought tickets to see him, you're part of the problem.
Yeah. Boom.
Bada
You've been told.
Bada boom.
You have been told.
Anyway, he doesn't have any good songs anyway.
No, I was going to say I was going to try and sing one, but I don't even know.
Every time I think of a Chris Brown song, it's always actually a Jason Derulo song.
Jason Derulo.
Is
that a thing? Yeah, you smashed that.
Thanks.
I was going to say, this kind of segues into the episode in a very not good way. I was going to say, people can change.
People can change, but Chris Brown has done too much to be forgiven.
Yeah, he cannot be changed.
But speaking of change...
Exactly. See, it's a segue.
Great.
In a little bit of a backwards way. If someone cut that, they could cancel us in 0.2 seconds.
Yeah.
But you guys understand our sense of humour, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So change. This episode is going to be all about how to cope with change when change can make you feel uncomfortable, stressed, overwhelmed, which I think is a very common feeling, a very valid feeling. So yeah, we're just going to have a little debrief on how to deal with that, some changes that we've been through in our lives, how we've overcome them, and how you can navigate any changes or unexpected changes that crop up in your life.
I hate change.
I used to hate change.
Interesting.
Now I kind of love it.
Well, I think there are changes that I do love, but also I find it really stressful when, say, like plans change at the last minute.
Like smaller scale change, not like big life changes.
Yeah, I feel like big life changes happen because I need them to happen. So
Yeah.
that feels more in control.
Yeah, and
I think,
exciting.
yeah.
So, well, sometimes they're out of your control and they're not good changes. But
Yeah. I feel like just if like small changes, like if we had a plan and then you cancelled at the last minute and then suddenly my whole day looked different to what I was imagining it to look like.
Yeah.
That sends me into a spiral.
Is that really stressful?
Yeah.
Note to self, do not cancel plans on Ro.
Don't cancel on me.
But I get that, but it's a different perspective because I feel like I love being spontaneous.
Same.
So if my plans got cancelled, I'd be like, wow, I've got so much free time, what can I do?
See, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I love being spontaneous if I've allocated time to not do anything.
You've allocated time to be spontaneous, which is not spontaneous.
Which is not spontaneous.
But it makes sense because if you know you've got a free day, then you know like you can do whatever you want with it. But if you weren't planning on it, it's the thing of like, how do I get there? How do I, everything's probably fully booked. I don't know what time scale I'm running out. Everyone else is probably busy, like this, that and the other. So I get that you have to schedule in time to be a free spirit.
Today I'm having a free spirit day.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But what happens like if someone does cancel on you, what do you do? How do you deal with that change?
Feel deep rage and upset.
Fair.
And then go, no worries, it's fine. And then deep down
One kiss.
Yeah. Deep down I'm like, great.
Okay instead of okay. That would send me into a spiral.
What if I said okay?
Yeah.
Or if I said K?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, we're not friends anymore. Sorry.
I would never do that anyway.
Thank you. But yeah, no, that makes sense. But also, do you not think about in the moment, like when you're really angry? I mean, obviously it's okay to have emotions and it's a normal, valid feeling to be angry and upset. But do you not sometimes think there's no point in being angry because it doesn't change anything?
No.
I'm just angry.
I can't rationalise in the moment. If I'm really angry about something,
then you are.
Yeah.
Then
I'm just
fair.
annoyed.
Yeah.
I won't ever do anything to anyone to like take it out on. Like I just do feel annoyed.
Yeah. Which is valid. I'm not gonna sit here and say like turn off all your emotions because it is what it is. But that's how I rationalise it.
Thing is as well, like sometimes I think, say like someone's cancelled on me last minute and it's not a really valid reason. Then I'm just like, you've disrespected me and my time. Or if you turn up really late and you've shifted all the plans around for no good reason.
Yeah.
You've disrespected me and you've disrespected my time.
Yeah.
And that just, I think you do have to just feel that annoyance.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's going to come out at them as well.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And it's important to discuss how you feel with people as well because it could happen one too many times and then you could probably like snap or things could get a bit out of hand. So I feel like change in those situations, it's just really important to communicate clearly with people and tell people how you feel. And that could be a good way to deal with change because we can often keep it in.
Yeah.
And bottling things up never, ever, ever helps.
No, a problem shared is a problem halved.
Exactly.
That's actually so true. I can't think of any situation where I felt better when something was just going around my head than when I actually spoke to someone about it.
Yeah. And how much, like, even though it's so scary to probably send that first message or start that conversation, how much better do you always feel as soon as you've done it? Like, always. I can't think of one situation where I've highlighted an issue that I've had with someone or something and it's not ended, like, either with a weight lifted because you realise that that wasn't a problem at all anyway and it was all in your head, or there is a problem, but it's better spoken about than living it in your head. I read a quote yesterday that said...
Was this when you were making your post of all your quotes?
Yeah, thank you. I read a quote yesterday while I was scrolling through Pinterest and it said, you often suffer more in your mind than you do in real life. So
you suffer
true.
more... You soften?
Soften.
You suffer more in imagination than in reality.
There we go. You know it better than me.
Isn't that like a Socrates quote or something?
What is that?
Some kind of... I've probably said his name wrong. Some kind of like philosopher.
Probably. It sounds very philosophical.
I want to look that up.
Philosophical.
You suffer more in your imagination.
This is really important information.
Oh, sorry. It was Seneca. We suffer more in imagination than in reality.
But it's true because we overthink and we exaggerate things and situations in our heads so much. Guilty, can't stop it. But we do. So getting things out into the real world and speaking about your feelings and emotions I think is a really good way to deal with things changing. And maybe like change when you notice a shift in your relationships with people. That can be scary. Like say, I don't know, you're in a relationship and you feel a little bit of a change in the air and you sit and overthink what's gone wrong, what's happened, why are they feeling like this. That change is scary. But talking about that change can either fix it or it could allow something to happen that was meant to happen. So instead of, what am I trying to say? Instead of kind of avoiding the change, like say the change is, I don't know, a breakup, for example. Instead of avoiding that change and avoiding that change because you're sugarcoating things in your head, maybe that change is meant to happen. And as hard and scary as things may feel, everything happens for a reason. And you're better off just getting things over and done with and getting through it than pushing it off and making that change even harder than it would have been in the first place.
I think a lot of people stay in relationships because they're scared of the change because they don't know what their life's going to look like if they're not in that relationship. But you can't stay with someone who's not right for you because you're scared of change. Like the change is always going to be more positive because you're not going to have that nagging doubt. You're not going to be like worrying about things. You're not going to be having arguments. Like you'll know that you're not. It's better to be alone and cope with the change than to be with the wrong person.
100%.
Talking about that's just relationships. But I also feel like when we first started this episode, I was sort of thinking, I feel like the biggest hurdle with change, like say you're starting a new school, starting a new job, going to meet someone for the first time, I feel like the scariest thing about that change is the first day or the first step. And I feel like once you've done that, like you just have to know that the first step, the first like word that you say to that person, all of the firsts are going to be scary. But once that's out of the way, it just gets easier and easier. And that is something you just have to remind yourself. Like, it has always gotten easier before. It will get easier again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's scary because it's new. It's scary because it's change. And actually, sometimes there is nothing that will make you feel better. You just have to tell yourself, I've just got to do the hard thing, and then it will get better.
100%. Couldn't have said it any better yourself. Myself. You couldn't have said it any better
You
yourself.
could not have said that.
No, I completely agree. I feel like that's with everything in life, really. I'm trying to think back to like my first things in life, like my first day of school, first day of college.
School.
Can't think that far back,
Can
to
you
be fair. But it was terrifying, though. Let me sit here for a minute. But it was terrifying.
Probably.
Walking into a room or like a school of thousands of people that you don't know. You're the youngest there. You're expecting to be picked on and all of this stuff. That's terrifying. But think back to you 2 years later when you've got your group of friends and you know how everything works and you know where the classroom is and you know who the teachers are. Like, it's not scary anymore. And that change is one of the biggest changes in your life, and you got through that.
But I still found the change going from the summer holidays to the first day of school difficult.
You found that difficult? I found that exciting.
I found it exciting when I would go and buy a new pencil case and get a new like rucksack.
That's the best part.
But apart from that, it always scared me a bit.
Do you like things to be the same? Like, do you like consistency, and do you like knowing everything about situations? Because
Yes.
You do. Okay.
I like all the information so that I know. I feel like if I don't know exactly what's going to happen and when, that's what freaks me out.
Okay.
And with change, a lot of it's like a new situation.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I was going to say, because I love the idea of a fresh start and new situations. So that actually does excite me. And maybe that's a good perspective shift to put on change. Is like everything that changes in your life is a new opportunity and a fresh start to do something different and be the person that you want to be.
I have just a random question.
Ooh.
If you think about moving to your dream destination.
Okay.
So for me, it would probably be like a beach town.
Yeah, I also would do that.
What excites you? Is it, because for me, it's the idea of when I've settled in.
Interesting.
And when it feels like home.
That did not even come into my head at all. At all.
What came into your head?
The thought of like waking up in the morning and going down to the sea and...
On the first day? Or
oh, wait, you're talking about the actual first day?
Yeah, or like, because I feel like what comes to mind in terms of it being like my dream life is when I feel settled in.
So mine's all the new things that I can do that I can't do now. Like the new, I don't know, new environment, new routine, new town, new shops to explore, like that's what excites me. But then I guess after a while, if you move house, it's not new anymore.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the first thing I would think about was like how excited I am to explore everything for the first time, and yeah, just get into a new form, like a new lease of life. So interesting that you kind of feel the opposite, no?
I like
Kind
it.
of.
I like the idea of it being different to my
Yeah.
current life, but I
Yeah.
also just what excites me is the idea of feeling settled and calm in that life, not trying to figure everything out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I thrive in a little bit of chaos.
You do. I mean, I kind of no, I hate
Trying to think about it. No.
this is the thing, like I am chaotic and my life is a lot of the time chaos, but I prefer it when it's not.
Yeah. So you'd rather it
So
wasn't.
yeah.
But you can't control some things.
Can't control everything. Change has to happen. Change is good.
That's an important thing to do with change as well. You can't control some of the things. So you just, as hard as it is, sometimes you just have to get on with it.
And change just has to happen
Yeah.
in life. Your life's not gonna stay the same.
Exactly. If your life stayed the same, you would still be a baby.
You have to grow with the flow.
Grow with the. I like that. Grow with the flow.
Grow with the flow.
Yeah, I feel like in a lot of situations I'm quite harsh. I'm just like, what's done is done. Get through it.
You're like,
Suck
get
it
on
up.
with it.
Yeah, just deal with it. Which I know is not the most helpful advice, but I mean, yeah. Sometimes you do just have to go through things that you don't want to go through, and yeah, they're going to be difficult. But you've got through every hard thing that you've got through before, so what's to say that you can't get through this one?
You can cope with everything life throws at you because otherwise life wouldn't throw it at you.
Exactly. I believe in that. I believe there's a set path for you, and I believe the universe has your back. I'm a strong believer in that.
True.
Okay, I'm going to end this episode with some funny stories I have about change. This sounds like I'm going to like read out a poem or something.
You're like, so now let me do my spoken word.
Okay, I remember, I think I've told you about these before, to be fair. When I was younger, I'm probably talking about like between 5 and 10.
I think I know where this is going. And it always makes me sad.
Yeah, so we had to get rid of our car because it was broken. And I begged my mum. I think I wrote a note and put it under our pillow. Maybe that was for the other situation. There's two situations here. And I had to keep the number plate on the car because changing the car honestly made me so upset. So my mum gave me the number plate to keep. And the same thing happened when we got a new sofa. Like as a kid, I hated change so much. It was quite funny because now I'm the opposite. But we had to get a new sofa. So I made my mum let me keep all the cushions from the sofa, and I kept one on my bed for a good like 5 years. The cushion from the old sofa that maybe
like
it's just
like a big cushion or a little cushion.
no, it was like the little one, like the throw cushion.
Yeah.
I remember it so vividly. It was leopard print. Yeah, I just hated change so much as a child. But I think I've outgrown that. But yeah, that's my funny story. I'm really bad at telling stories.
No, it just breaks my heart, the idea of little you being like, please don't take the sofa.
Writing a note under my mum's pillow like, I need this cushion to survive. Don't
so
change.
Cute.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was me.
And on that note,
I hope you really do something really great with your life with that information.
I hope you keep
so
your sofa and keep your car.
Yeah.
And I hope that you never have overwhelming change, but if you do, then I know that you can cope with it.
Yeah.
As an all-knowing, all-seeing being, I know you'll be fine.
I know everything about you and your life.
Yeah, I'm coping with vocal change at the moment, by the way. Still got a low voice. I'm genuinely like, I can make my voice go. At the party, at the end of it, I genuinely sounded like I ran a pub. Like,
yeah, that video you sent
I was
me.
like, bye everyone, see you later. Genuinely, my voice was so deep.
It's funny that you can't even get it that deep now. That's how deep it was.
I don't like. I was a whole different octave. Whole different vocal range.
How are you dealing with that change now? That was good change.
It's coming back.
Do you know what? No, actually, not good change. But do you know what? Some change, it helps you appreciate the things that you forget are good in your life.
Like when I have a normal voice.
Yeah, when you probably didn't appreciate you on a day-to-day basis. I'm guessing you didn't sit there and think, I'm so grateful I have my voice right now. But now you do because your voice changed and you got it back. And sometimes things don't come back, but you can be grateful that they happened.
Love that. What a beautiful note to end the episode on.
Thank you. Okay, on that note,
We'll see you on
Sunday.
Bye.